Welcome to day 3. Day 3. We've already done 1 and 2. We've learned our left hand. We've learned a little bit of our right hand. We've put the hands together. You've learned 3 chords in the left hand, and you've learned 5 different notes in the right hand. You have come a long way, and I'm proud of you. Today is going to be really an easy day for you. We're going to learn 3 new notes, which are very easy, and we're going to learn a little bit more about music. So how did it go yesterday? Was it hard putting the hands together and playing them so it doesn't go, so it's together like that? Play some of those extra fun ones. Uh-oh, there we go. I hope you had fun with it. Today we're going to learn, like I said, 3 new notes. A, B, and C. But let's go to a special place where I can teach you more about it, up in Yellowstone. Hi, today we're here at Yellowstone National Park, and behind me is Old Faithful. It's just about ready to erupt, but while we're waiting, let's learn 3 new notes. It's A, B, and C. Now C is not the same as middle C that we've learned earlier. It is 8 notes higher, and it's what we call an octave higher. So on your music, notate it. This is C, and then the B, and then the A. These 3 notes will help us learn a new hymn for today. So let's look back now at Old Faithful and watch it explode, and then we'll get on and learn our new hymn for today.
Perfect. It's raining.
Okay, that was a lot of fun to shoot. Now we need to learn where A, B, and C are on the keyboard. Notice on here we have A, B, and C. And A, B, and C. A is on the 2nd space. B is on the 1, 2, 3rd line. And C is on the 1, 2, 3, 3rd space. Now, an easy thing to remember the lines and spaces is to remember a phrase. If you notice, the first line is E, we skip over F and we go to G, skip over A and go to B, skip over C, go to D, skip over E and we go to F. How are we going to remember E, G, B, D, and F? Well, remember this phrase. Every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. You can memorize that phrase if it helps you. And for a phrase for the middle ones, for F-A-C-E, what does that spell? Face. Face. So I have every good boy does fine and face. That should help you, as well as I'll still have the names of the notes inside of it. So there's an exercise in there that will help you learn, go from C to A and C to B, and learn those. So remember, still use your 1 finger. As you're practicing that exercise in there. So go practice that and then come back and we'll learn a little bit on the music end. Thanks. Hi and welcome back. Were you able to find the A, B, and C on there? Simple A, B, and C. Now, what's the name between the C and middle C? Remember that name? Yes, it's called an octave. And that's just to know that there's from C to C or D to D or A to A, that's an octave apart. Right now we're going to learn how to read some rhythms. Most of the time with the hymns, you don't need to worry about rhythms because you may already know what the melody is. The people singing it know what the melody is, and so they already know which notes are longer, you hold longer, which notes are shorter, and what the basic rhythm is. But let's learn some basics of the rhythm. Now, on this page here called Reading Rhythms, you'll see that we have the 5 lines. We have the treble clef over here on the left, but then there's a straight line that goes down. It's just called a bar line, okay? And this divvies up the music into sections to make it easier for us. It's kind of like a period at the end of a sentence. If you didn't have any period at the end of a sentence, you had one long sentence, it would be hard to know where to go and how to read it and stuff. So we have a bar line that separates these areas, and each area is just called a measure. So we have a bar line and we have a measure. Now, it's important that we play notes and hold them down at different lengths of time. And so what we have is we have a quarter note, a half note, and what we call a dotted half note. The first one, the quarter note, let's look at it here. It's just the black circle, black dot with a line on it. And that gets what we call 1 count or 1 beat. And we count how many beats there are between one bar line to the next bar line. So down here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to repeat it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. This helps us in counting and knowing where they should be. And each of these quarter notes gets, yes, right, 1 count or 1 beat. A half note is a quarter note like this, but we hollow out, and so it's just a circle. If you notice, it's a circle with a line on it, and it's worth 2 quarter notes. So 2 quarters equals 1 half note. And so a half note gets 2 beats. So in this case, we have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But then we have this dot on the end of a half note. And what that dot means in this case is give it another beat. So a dotted half note gets 3 beats. I guess that's the easier way rather than coming up with a different design. We have a quarter note, which is blacked in, a half note, which is just a circle, that gets 2 beats, and then a half note with a little dot on it gets 3 beats. So we have 1 for 1 beat, 1 for 2 beats, and 1 for 3 beats. Now, time signatures. What is a time signature? Well, it's a big word. You don't really need to worry about it. But at the beginning of each piece of music, right next to the treble clef, you'll see either a 3/4 or a 4/4. Now, the top note means, okay, we're going to play 3 beats or 3 counts in a measure, or we're going to do 4 counts or 4 beats to a measure. And what does the 4 mean at the bottom? Well, if you can kind of think of it as a fraction, this is the bottom half of the fraction, so that would be a quarter note. So we have 3 quarter notes in a measure. Here we have 4 quarter notes to a measure. So down here here's the measure, and notice that we have a 3/4, so that means we'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3 in each of these cases. For a 4/4 time, or time signature, we get how many beats per measure? That's right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All the music that we will be learning will either be in 3/4 or 4/4 to make it easy. There's a whole bunch of different ones out there, but I've made everything so it's either in 3/4 or 4/4. Now the purpose of rhythm is so that the beats are equal. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we'll keep them very equal through there. And as you notice, when somebody is conducting, they'll be conducting so that the beats are all the same. And if you've ever been in a concert and people are clapping away, they're clapping to the beat. So one thing that we're going to start learning is on all the hymns as we're learning them, to start clapping or tapping our foot or tapping our hands so we can feel the beat. So if we miss a couple of notes in playing, if we still know where the beat is, we can come in at any time in our music. So 3/4 and 4/4, let's review. A quarter note is full in. A half note gets 2 beats, and a half note with a little dot on it is what we call a dotted half note, and it gets 3 beats. Now, there's a thing called a rest, and a rest means we don't play any notes. So down here, I have my little bird here. A quarter of a rest is better than no rest at all. Excuse my fun here, but a quarter rest is just kind of a little squiggly line. That means here in this example that I'll have E, F, and G, and then when there's a little rest there, I don't play anything. I just lift my hand up, but it gets a beat. Does that make sense? So then we have a half note here on F, we have a quarter note on F, and then we have a little rest. So it's 1, 2, 3 on the F, and then we lift our finger up. Here we have a dotted half note with a quarter note with a dot, and that gets 3 beats, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is a rest. And I would say probably 95% of all the hymns, there won't be a rest in there, so it's not too important. But if you do see it, that just means it gets 1 beat, and then you don't play. So that is pretty easy. This daily review that we have, let's go over for a test right here. What is this? Well, you're right, that's a treble clef. What is this line going down here? That's right, it's a bar line. What is the space between the 2 bar lines called? That's right, it's a measure. And then at the very end, we have 2 lines. We haven't talked about that line, but that's the end of the piece right there. So now let's name these notes. Let's see if you can follow along. What's this one? C. This one, A. This one, C. This one, B. This one, A. E, B, C, B, C, or no, that's A and C. Do you remember the phrase for the 5 lines? Every good boy does fine. And the spaces? F-A-C-E, which is face. Now, a quarter note gets how many counts or beats? Yes, 1. And what type of note gets how many beats? What type of note is that? That is a half note. A dotted, fill in the blank, if we put a dot on that, a dotted half note gets how many counts or beats? 3, exactly. And this, a rest gets 1 beat, the same as a quarter note. So if you put a quarter note or a rest in there, Now let's talk about time signatures. How many beats to a measure does 3/4 get? 3. Remember, it's the top number 3 and the 4 is the quarter notes. How many does 4/4 get? 4. 4 beats to a measure. Now, our last hymn, yesterday you learned Jesus wants a humble birth, the left hand. Today we're going to learn the right hand. But this is what I want you to do. Tap and count the rhythm first. What does that mean? Well, Jesus wants of humble birth. Okay, in counting it would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ah, there's a rest. We lift up on it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you do that? So we play the melody, we count the rhythm, we sing the melody, and then we kind of look at the music to see, can we make it even easier? Notice that line 1 up here is very similar to line 3. Except for the last note. But if you notice, these 3 measures are the same as these 3. And then, notice the second line. It's the same as the last line. Except for the last note. In music, if you can learn where there's patterns, and this is the same as this, all of a sudden it becomes a lot easier to learn the music. Because if you learn this portion, you've already learned this portion. And so a hymn sometimes is 4 verses, so you only have to learn 1 verse and you play it 4 times. That's a lot easier than having to learn a song that's way long. It's just this time, but we're going to repeat it 4 times. So on our music, color in your C, G, and Fs. Sing the melody with just doing the left hand. Jesus wants of humble birth. Better than I sing. And then try counting it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then put the right hand with it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And play it very slow at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. As you do that, then you'll master the song. Don't try to learn it all at one time. Just take 1 line at a time, top line, and then maybe learn the 3rd line because it's very similar except for the note difference. The rhythm will come if you can kind of hear it, or maybe even have somebody else sing it. You can kind of feel the flow of it, and you kind of go with it. And that brings us to the next point. We want to play music rather than just notes, so it's not da, 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 da. This is a very soft one. This is one of prayer to our Savior. Jesus wants of humble birth. So we make it sound like that. But in your practicing, you can do it hard, fast, slow, or whatever. Today's kind of a harder day, but it is still easy. Take it one step at a time. Learn the left hand, learn the right hand. Start counting in there, and you'll have a great day. So practice this. Kind of review some of the other exercises that we had. Do some of those other fun songs like Mary Had a Little Lamb, Jingle Bells. That will help you get those notes down a little bit better too. And then practice. And remember, don't practice for a long period of time. Several short sections, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Come in. By tapping your leg to some of the songs like jingle bells, jingle all the way, you can start getting a feel for the rhythm and keeping it so it's going rather than going jingle bells, no, it's jingle bells. So rhythm is really important because when people are singing, that's the way that they're expecting to do it. So take the hymns or the songs, go slow, and then you're able to play them faster and more accurate. So I want you to have a fun time on today. We've learned a lot, but you can do it. Have fun, come back, ask the Lord to bless you that you can continue to do well. And we'll see you tomorrow.